I bought $700,000 worth of Intel stock today.
24 hours later.
Okay, I definitely picked the wrong day to buy.
This guy from Reddit inherited $700,000 from her grandma. In over 24 hours, he lost 1/3 of it, and it just keeps getting worse. Well, investing can feel like a fast track to financial freedom, or sometimes, like for this guy, the highway to hell. I bet you've seen the stories where people doubling their money, hitting it big with a stock, or jumping on the latest crypto trend. Like how Dogecoin started as a joke cryptocurrency, but quickly gained a massive following thanks to Elon Musk. And in early 2021, its value skyrocketed, and some early investors made huge profits almost overnight. But behind the glamour of quick wins lies a mistake that even experienced investors make. And if you're not careful, it can be your downfall. You won't believe how many investors fall for this every single time. And here's why it's so dangerous. Everyone is chasing quick wins. Picture this. A young investor sees a hot tip on social media. Maybe it's a stock that's supposed to skyrocket, or a cryptocurrency that's gaining massive hype. Everyone's talking about it, and the fear of missing out kicks in. He decides to jump in without doing any real research, thinking this will be his ticket to fast success. And for a while, it seems like he's made the right choice. His portfolio starts to climb, and he feels like a genius. But here's where things take a surprising turn. The market crashes, hot stocks fall, and cryptocurrency loses half its value in a day. Suddenly, that quick win has turned into a major loss. Sound familiar? Chasing quick wins is one of the biggest mistakes investors make. It's driven by emotions, especially greed and the fear of missing out, and it leads to impulsive decisions. What most people don't realize is that successful investing is a marathon, not a sprint. The ones who succeed are the ones who think long-term, not those who chase the latest trend. But let's talk about overconfidence. You make a few good investments, see some nice returns, and suddenly you feel like you've cracked the code. And you start to think, I've got this. I don't need to spread my money across different investments. I'll just keep putting it all into this one stock. It's always performed well for me. But here's the truth that every investor needs to understand. No stock, no cryptocurrency, no investment is a sure thing. Markets are unpredictable, and putting all your eggs in one basket is incredibly risky. And that's the biggest mistake that the guy from Reddit made when he only invested in Intel. Diversification, spreading your investments across different assets, is the key to protecting yourself from market volatility. You'll be surprised, but Intel is not the only company that lost such big value overnight. Take the story of Enron, one of the largest companies in the world, with shares skyrocketing in the 1990s. People thought it was a safe bet, and many investors put everything they had into Enron stock. But in 2001, the company collapsed in one of the biggest financial scandals in history. Those who didn't diversify lost everything. The lesson here is simple. No matter how confident you feel, always spread your risk. Don't let overconfidence trick you into making reckless decisions. Also, one of the most dangerous mistakes investors make is trying to time the market. The idea is simple: buy low, sell high. But in reality, timing the market is almost impossible. I am very curious to know how many of you wanted to buy low and sell high, but did the opposite. I have to tell that even professional investors, with all their tools and resources, struggle to predict exactly when a market will rise or fall. During the 2008 financial crisis, many investors panicked and sold off their stocks as prices were dropping. They thought they were avoiding further losses. But what happened next? The market rebounded, and those who stayed invested eventually recovered, and even saw their portfolios grow. Those who sold missed out on the recovery and locked in their losses. The reality is, the market goes through cycles. There will be ups and downs, but if you're constantly trying to predict those movements, you'll likely end up losing more than you gain. Instead of timing the market, focus on the time spent in the market, stay patient and consistent. And I bet the following is the other biggest mistake that flies under the radar for most investors: ignoring the impact of fees and costs. Every time you buy or sell an investment, there are transaction fees, management fees, and sometimes even hidden costs that slowly eat away at your returns. Let's say you're investing in a mutual fund or an ETF. You might think a 1% fee doesn't sound like much, but over time, that 1% can add up to thousands of dollars in lost returns, especially when you factor in compound interest. Many people don't even realize how much they're paying in fees until it's too late. I heard a story of a 30-year-old investor who contributed regularly to his 401k. By the time he was 60, he had lost over $300,000 in fees he didn't even know he was paying. Imagine how much that money could have grown if it had stayed in his account. So guys, always pay attention to the fees associated with your investments. Low-cost index funds and ETFs are often a smarter choice than high-fee mutual funds. Over the long run, those small differences can have a huge impact on your wealth. And this is the most important point of all. Don't let your emotions control your investment decisions. I've just watched a video yesterday on YouTube that was about the exact same things. Look, we are all human, and it's natural to feel fear, excitement, and frustration when it comes to money. But emotional investment is one of the quickest ways to sabotage your financial goals. Picture this: the market drops by 20% and the news is filled with stories of doom and gloom. You start to feel anxious and the urge to sell everything and cut your losses kicks in. But here's what seasoned investors know. When you sell during a downturn, you lock in your losses. The market will eventually recover, and if you've sold out, you'll miss the opportunity to regain your position. On the flip side, when the market is doing well, greed takes over. You might start chasing after the hottest stocks or putting more money into investments that have already peaked, hoping to squeeze out more gains. But this is when you're most vulnerable to losses. To succeed in investing, you must master your emotions. Stick to your strategy, trust the process, and remember that the market's ups and downs are normal. And the craziest part? Many of the greatest opportunities come during the darkest times in the market. Investing can be a powerful tool for building wealth, but it's also full of pitfalls that can cost you dearly if you're not careful. The most common mistakes: chasing quick wins, overconfidence, trying to time the market, ignoring fees, and letting emotions drive decisions, are the traps that many fall into. But here's the key takeaway: successful investing isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about making smart, consistent decisions over time. It's about patience, discipline, and understanding that mistakes are part of the process. The road to wealth isn't a straight line, but if you avoid these common mistakes, you'll be much better prepared for the journey ahead.